Hi, and welcome to Let's Get Distracted, episode 32. Have you wondered what is the best way to capture your legacy, whether it's a family legacy or a legacy event? Well, tonight you're going to learn how from two terrific ladies. But first, I'm Michelle Burke, coming to you live from Minneapolis. Many of you know that after 30 years in the corporate tax world, I went out on my own in January and formed Health and Taxes. There are only two things certain in life, death and taxes. I'm here to help you flip that to health and taxes. On Sunday nights, I come to you live, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And if you can't catch the whole thing or need to watch it in replay, please check out my YouTube channel. I've posted it below. If you find value in tonight's information, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We appreciate all your support. So tonight, on Sunday, every Sunday, I come at 7:30 Eastern, and I bring you Let's Get Distracted to just take you away from the news and all the craziness that 2020 has given us, to bring you an interesting topic. And usually it's health and wellness related, and this topic tonight builds right into that health and wellness. And so here to talk about legacy and capturing someone's legacy. So with that, let me introduce Ladan Madresehee. Hello, Ladan.
Good job, Michelle. That's good. Said the name well.
I practiced. And let me also introduce Alexis Doty. Hello, Alexis.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Happy to have you ladies here. It's fun. This is the first time I've had two people on my show at the same time, so this is going to be fun. So Leave It to Me is a leading full-service logistics, meetings, and events planning company, complete with customized and concierge care. Founded by events planning veteran Ladan Madresehee. Leave It to Me is the culmination of a calling for her. Ladan planned her first event as a junior in high school. She found great joy from running around town, getting last-minute details sorted out for a prom. She personally delivered the ice sculpture to the venue, ensuring that the rest of the planning committee was relaxed, getting their hair and makeup done before the big event. That event that night was a resounding success, one of the highlights of her adolescent and defining moment for her life's true calling. Ladan has been making magic ever since, effortlessly and seamlessly putting together big and small events to the delight of everyone, which I'm certain of. The path to her passion and purpose took many professional turns, enriching her expertise in management and logistics. She is a proud 1997 alumni of the Thunderbird School of Global Management. She also holds a Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration, International Finance from the Rochester Institute of Technology. Ladan continued to manage events in both college and graduate school. During her 20-year career in telecommunications, she planned several social, educational, and professional networking events for numerous community organizations and her Thunderbird Graduate School alumni group. Ladan moved to the U.S. from Iran with her family when she was only 4 years old. She has lived in 7 different states and is now happily making her home in Northern Virginia with her husband of 19 years and her 2 daughters. In 2018, Ladan founded Leave It to Me on International Women's Day. Great day to do that, Ladan.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on, Michelle.
You are welcome, and thanks for coming back. Many of my viewers know Ladan was with me early on, and she was gracious enough to join us again tonight.
Yes, and last time I joined from my dad's house in Pennsylvania, and this time I'm in my dad's house in Pennsylvania. I don't really live here, but it's just a coincidence.
I'm beginning to think you do live there.
Wouldn't be bad.
Let me also introduce Alexis Doty. With more than 27 years in the media production industry, Alexis is all things video. She earned her Bachelor's of Arts degree in radio, television, and film from the University of Maryland, where her television professor once suggested that she stay behind the camera. Well, yeah, that didn't happen. Instead, Alexis made her mission to craft her skill and build proficiency at every angle of the camera. Whether it's producing, editing, scripting, or being the main camera person, Alexis has worn every pre-production and post-production hat that you can think of, plus many more. From her start as an intern at Bell Atlantic, Verizon, as many of us know it now, and a local cable volunteer, Alexis knew her passion and her purpose. It wasn't long before she was working with top CEOs and Ivy League professors and producing video for Fortune 500 companies like IBM, Coca-Cola, and many more, and for large government agencies. Today, Alexis owns and runs F22 Video Solutions, where she produces heart-centered videos for clients who are living in the faith that their own vision will become reality. She brings her years of corporate video and freelance background and experience by providing clients with the tools, team, and expertise needed to create their content. Alexis has chosen to not only serve her clients, but also serve a greater good by giving back to the community. Alexis understands the importance of her clients' hard-earned money and strives to maximize their return on investment by delivering best-in-class videos on time and within budget. She is also known for excellent service and flexibility. Welcome, Alexis.
Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of like so funny to like listen to your bio like that. So thank you for having me. It's kind of like, oh, okay, that's me.
Very impressive, and we're looking forward to hearing about it. So, Ladan, let's just kick it off here. Tell us a little bit more about you and what brought you to create Leave It to Me.
Sure. Again, thank you, Michelle, for having me a second time and having Alexis on with me since we've partnered up and we do such great work together. Leave It to Me was basically because I couldn't find a job in the event management space after 20 years in telecom, and there was just no way that I was going to give up on doing my, having this passion of mine fulfilled. So luckily, I was very lucky that a life coach at the time said to me, well, if you can't break into a new industry after 20 years experience with another one, just do it yourself and start your own business. So I was going to name it Leave It to Ladan. And my name, unfortunately, is hard to say and has a negative connotation sometimes, a certain name that sounds close to it. So people were like, don't do that. You can't name it Leave It to Ladan. So that's where Leave It to Me was born. And originally, I was supposed to help other event professionals. And I was going to help them with their day of event management. And that's why I named it Leave It to Me, because then they could just be a guest at the event they spent a long time planning, and I would take care of everything. Well, after a month of starting the business, I went to a funeral, and at the funeral, it hit me that just like event professionals that work on something and that deserve to sit back and relax and not have to run around, and I could help them with that. It hit me that brides have event coordinators, event professionals, they have all sorts of people, and it's a happy day. But when you're planning and running a funeral, unfortunately, or a memorial service or celebration of life event, you don't have a team of professionals helping you. And there's just about as many logistical factors with a funeral as there are with a wedding. So I went home that night and was up very late researching, and did find that there were a couple of companies that had clients like that around the country. And I put the idea away. And several months later, I was asked to plan someone's mother's celebration of life. And I'm like, wait a minute, this came up again. And then during the time that I was helping her, a third thing came up where I ended up planning a memorial reception for someone. She contacted me a day or two before her father actually passed away. So at that point, I decided to stop ignoring the calling. And that's when I jumped in full force and I don't remember how I did it. I put some feelers out to find a videographer, photographer, someone that would partner up with me. And that's when Alexis and I met. And throughout the last 2 years, I've kind of refined exactly what Leave It to Me is. I basically have 3 different product offerings. But the one I'm most excited about, other than the event management that I do for all events from sunrise to sunset, so everything from baby showers all the way to the end of life events, and I have a concierge service. But the third thing that I'm very excited about is helping people plan their own end of life celebration, or pulling together and documenting their legacy, and potentially writing their own obituary. But basically, kind of joke that it's John McCain style funeral planning, where he had it down to who was invited and who wasn't. So that's the thing I'm hoping to do, and hoping to capture everyone that's interested, hopefully young, healthy, older, baby boomers, whatever age, just making sure that your last party is exactly how you want it. So that's what Leave It to Me is for now, and that's why Alexis and I are joining forces, because as the clients that I work with, they decide that they really do want to document everything, we can work together. She can do the great video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ladan, I know. I just want to say tonight we're going to focus on the legacy, but I do want to throw out there, I think it's wonderful that you found this niche in helping with the arrangements, the funeral service, what's going on, because like you said, people take it for granted that you want someone to help with your wedding, but no one really thinks about needing help for that life celebration or funeral service or event, a family event around it. So it's such a wonderful thing. So for any of our viewers, please feel free to go back on Facebook and search Ladan, and you can see her talk about those types of events in her first interview. So with that, Alexis teamed up with you, and I think that's wonderful. So Alexis, tell us a little bit more about you and your company and your teaming with Ladan.
Well, yeah, I've been a freelancer basically my whole career out of college. Just never found the right place for me full time. So it just kind of was one of those things. And it's just easy to be an independent. And then about 9 years ago, I became an LLC, which is a different form of independence, but now with a lot more responsibilities. And I started F22 Video Solutions. And but my biggest vision is always giving back to my community and helping different nonprofits, or just kind of the small people that need video because they just can't afford a whole big production company and things like that. So and then last year I had the idea, well, I had it a while ago, to do legacy videos, because I had it 9 years ago when I was doing all of my family, but it just wasn't the right time for many reasons, marketing and not knowing the right people. But my father passed away from Alzheimer's last year, and it really kind of gave me the incentive to go, you know what, I really need to follow my passion and purpose and capture those memories for other people, because I know what it was like for me when watching my dad lose all his memories. But I had that video I had done many years earlier, so I knew I had captured them. But watching him lose his memories, I realized how important it is to have it in their own words and have them be able to talk about their life and tell their stories and have that emotion, the joy, the happiness, the sad, the tears, all the ticks of that person documented. So somebody will always have that to treasure and to be able to memorialize them. So so that was kind of how Memory Lane Productions became from last year. And then Ladan and I, we met, oh my gosh, at a co-working space that's, I think, mostly women. And it was just, there was just all kinds of women that just have great synergy together. But Ladan and I obviously just really connected right away. And from then on, we just knew we were good partners together. So.
Well, I certainly see the synergies between the two, and why the two of you would work so well together, and having the same sort of passions there and bringing that. So the holidays are coming up. So tell me a little bit, like how could people use this time to maybe capture some of those legacy memories?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously so many people, it's, so many times I'm like, oh yeah, we want to do that. And they say they're going to, and obviously you can grab your phone and capture those. I mean, definitely get those done, because You just have to. You just never know. I mean, time is just, especially with COVID, this is right now. So it is great to capture those things, and it's just so easy to get some people to open up. I mean, my gosh, at the holiday celebrations, everybody's kind of chatting. So definitely you need to record them. But I kind of bring a different, like kind of a non-family party person, and I've been interviewing people for 28 years, so I know how to interview people and to get people to say things. And because I'm just not into all of their stories, I can help really get the fullness of the story. But definitely, I mean, if you've got family, especially if they're traveling, I mean, who knows if we can travel, but grab your phone and capture those memories. But to the next level, hiring me is just one of those, like, you really definitely get a professional shareable version that everybody can see, and just put it out there for everybody. But definitely, I mean, it is easy to capture, and on your phone. And if you're not doing it, you should be doing it, because everybody in your family needs to be kind of like highlighted and spotlighted in some way, shape, or fashion.
Yeah, I think one of the things with the family coming together, but this year maybe not, right? So maybe an opportunity for you ladies to go out, meet with a family that can't connect,
Right.
And capture some memories and things. And I think you also made a really good point. Often with 2 points. One is, yes, go ahead, capture the memories on a phone. But how long are you going to have those? How do you disseminate that? How do you share that? So talk a little bit about how, if you guys came out and did the interviewing, what format, what would they get at the end of the day? What format would that video be in?
Well, usually I've got a digital format that I can put on a Dropbox, or share it one way or another, whatever's easiest for them. Usually the file is not a Google Drive because it's too big and it's a really good quality. But then I can make DVDs. I can put it on the USB keys. I actually just did a funeral at the Arlington Cemetery, and she was just like, "Oh, actually get me a DVD." She goes, "Well, I actually don't own a DVD player." So I'm like, "Okay, well, I'll give you one, but." So I said, "Let me give it to you on a key." And she's like, "Oh, great, that will go on my TV." So we have multiple ways we can get it to everybody. But yes, DVDs kind of going towards the cassette tapes, and people don't even have a place to play it. So I do all digital formats because that's the easiest way to share it anyway.
Yeah, and you also made another point with some of your interviewing skills, making sure that everybody has their say, making sure you capture some relevant points and topics, whereas maybe a family member may not be quite so inclusive or exclusive or not touching on some of those things.
Right.
So,
So
go ahead,
not to cut you off, Michelle, but the other piece can be with the holidays. I sometimes complain about Zoom, but I should be counting my blessings that Zoom is around, because there is an opportunity now to bring families that are scattered all over the country, maybe the world, to come together on Zoom. And so with having maybe some pre-recorded video that can be shown during a Zoom event, and then also the Zoom event being captured, and Alexis using her skills to bring everything and edit it nicely. But we can incorporate all sorts of things, from having her wonderful interview style and asking questions, but also when a story is told, if it's told with other family members or people that are listening, they can share what maybe they remember. Those are a little different, and it could be very interactive. And also, I specialize in doing quizzes now with some of the folks that I help with events. So we could, test out their knowledge. Maybe if they, maybe grandma or grandpa records something. I, being here at my dad's house right now, got my mom and my dad's master's degree and PhD programs confused. So I was telling my dad that, yeah, you got a PhD in agricultural economics, right? And you wrote about Washington State apples, right? He was just like, "No, you idiot, that was your mom." I'm just like, oh, but I was a kid, and so I didn't remember. I knew somebody had apples going on, and so it was really nice, and I was able to ask him questions. And he's 72, and he still has not gotten too old to forget all these things. And I really wish that I had somebody like Alexis asking questions, because one, maybe he wouldn't have called me an idiot if she was there. And then also, I'm not bringing my bias into the question asking. You can go down a path of asking things that would really open up the person being interviewed.
Well, and that actually kind of brings up an interesting point, because we're all here local to the Washington, D.C. area, and hopefully some of the viewers are. And so many people are in secure kind of jobs where they're not allowed to talk about what they do. But when they retire and they're in their 70s and 80s, you can finally say, oh my gosh, this is what I did for a living. And I just interviewed somebody's that he had passed, but I interviewed the wife, and the daughter said, I didn't know about my dad till after he passed away. And all these people said, oh, he was here in Russia. I mean, like telling all these crazy stories. But I mean, we're around Washington, D.C., and people can't talk about their jobs. But once they retire and maybe years have gone by, they can finally say, oh my gosh, this is, I did satellite offices or what. I mean, you can finally fill in the gaps, like things that you had no idea. And they have probably amazing stories of what they've done, but they just weren't allowed to share it at all. So, in the D.C. area, I think it's so important to capture those memories. And obviously the military is so important to capture those too. But with secure clearances, you just can't talk about what you do. So this would be finally a time that you can kind of go, oh my gosh, my dad did what? So
that's a really good point. And you're right, especially in this area, we have a lot of different, for a lot of different reasons, people can't tell, and to hear that and capture it later before it's too late is awesome. Ladan, you also made a point. People have different memories. People can experience the same thing and have a different memory from it too. So even sharing how you saw it or how you were impacted by something could be a different story from you, your sister, your brother, your mom, your dad, so that's also a really good point. Shout out to Eileen and Addie. They both are saying that capturing family memories is needed and such a great idea.
Yeah, awesome.
So one of the things I saw, Alexis, on your website actually is that not only do you come into somebody's home, but you might take somebody on a car ride or drive them through their old town, or in one instance, I believe you took your grandfather out on the golf course because that's what he likes doing. That's a great idea too.
Well,
so tell us a little bit.
It's just different. People, it's different when you're in your, on your chair, and I got the camera set up, things like that. But I'm going next week, and somebody loves fishing. So after we do the interview, we're going to just kind of go fishing and just being able to ask him different things about fishing and his stories and what did you catch. I mean, they're so much more comfortable than I'm sitting in a chair and I'm looking at you and there's the camera over your shoulder kind of thing. So I can just get so much. And also my friend from school will be like, oh my gosh, that's my dad, that he fishes and that's just who he is. So you kind of caught his essence in that, that video and whatnot. So, I mean, obviously you can have a picture of your dad fishing, but I mean, he's telling the stories, he's fishing. It's just different catching them in their mode, so.
Yeah, and not only are they comfortable, but putting them in that mode probably triggers more memories too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah, my dad's a college professor. So I don't know if you have any experience with the college professors, but they don't retire. They just kind of work till they die at their death. I mean, that's the joke, right? So my dad's office is his sanctuary. I mean, during COVID, he couldn't go in for a little bit, and poor guy, but he disappears there all the time, even while we've been here, and being able to capture him actually lecturing and doing what he's so passionate about, that would be really great. Yeah. And that's, that is how children remember their parents. I grew up going to Cumming College and seeing my dad behind all the papers and the disarray. I mean, the quintessential professor office. I mean, that's she's Einstein's desk, and that's my dad's desk. Yeah. And being able to capture that, not on my iPhone 11 or whatever I have, but something correct, really well done.
Well,
And then
and my dad's house was knocked down. So I mean, there's always transitions in the DC area. Things are getting knocked down, and then all of a sudden they're putting shopping centers or bigger houses. So to document somebody's house and block and school, I mean, you should capture it because you don't know if it's going to stay.
yeah, sad but true, right? Sad but true.
Yeah.
Hey, Ladan, tell us a little bit more. I mean, we're talking about family legacy, but we can also celebration of life or capture like an anniversary. What are some other events that you guys capture?
Yeah, go.
Yeah, so one of the times that I was privileged enough to have Alexis help me, she took some beautiful photographs at an event that I had, and it was a vendor event, and we were showcasing other small businesses. But the way that she captured everyone and how they were presenting their business to clients, potential clients, and then the turnaround, it was just, I mean, she took such good care of me. But right now with the Zoom events, I'm specializing in a lot of 70th birthdays. Everybody, all these baby boomers, they all were turning 70 this year, and I helped them come up with different ideas and just, I act as a MC, and I transition people, make sure everyone's muted, all that normal stuff. And the other nice thing about doing these events online, and kind of similar to the partnership I have with Alexis, there's other small businesses that can ship things to everyone that's going to be on the Zoom, so everyone could share a piece of cake or have a brownie or cookie at the same time. And there's all sorts of ways to make an event that isn't in person really fun. And the pre-recorded videos, I think, are going to end up being a big thing in 2021, in my opinion, on the Zooms. Having Alexis work with them, or even pre-record it on a Zoom, or have them record it and send to her and incorporate it into the event, just make sure everything goes smoothly. But I also do hybrid events. So if somebody has, with the new lockdown policies coming into effect again, if maybe they have a small gathering of 25 and then there's 100 people or so that were left out, we can coordinate and potentially even have Alexis, if it's local, be the on-site camera person, and then it would broadcast to the Zoom, and I would handle the Zoom portion of the event. So it's great when you do something like that, because you already have a relationship, and we can text each other and be like, move to the right, move, like, I can see you.
Yeah.
So Ladan, if someone wanted to reach out to you and coordinate and maybe schedule something with you, what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, if you go to my website that you just so beautifully put up there so quickly, they can go there, or at the end we can also add my Facebook information, because as a small business owner, I probably spend a little bit too much time on Facebook, and I've been yelled at for the last 2 weeks about how much time I'm on my phone. But one of the things I have going on right now is really urging people not to get together for Thanksgiving unless they've already quarantined and done all the, made all the taken all the precautions. But so we can have some fun Thanksgiving events, and I've got all of that outlined that I can forward on my Facebook. So
that's
also
great.
For Christmas, I'll be doing the same.
So encourage our listeners to think about, having a family gathering via Zoom with Ladan, and doing a family Zoom. That sounds like a great idea for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or for whatever holiday you're celebrating. So wonderful. Alexis, tell us a little more how someone can reach you to have you come out.
I mean, like I said, I have kind of two different businesses. My the legacy videos are the personal video biographies, and I've got to contact me via there. My other company, F22 Video Solutions, is more kind of social media savvy. So I've got F22 has a Facebook page and Twitter and all that crazy social media stuff. But working on that for my Memory Lane Productions. But yeah, definitely you can see kind of what I'm doing and to contact me on that website. So definitely that would be kind of one of the first places that you should go just to check it out, and then to to go to the next step. So and hopefully those people that are watching, I can give $50 off your first legacy video, and definitely we can talk about referrals if people are like, oh my gosh, I can't do it because somebody's passed away, but I know a friend. So definitely if you've watched this, mention that to me, and then we'll go from there.
Wonderful. So yeah, anybody who's watching, definitely mention the Facebook Live from Let's Get Distracted, and these ladies will give you a discount on your first service. That's fantastic. I appreciate you throwing that out there. So Ladan, anything in closing here that you would like to say to the audience?
I just want to say thank you again to you, Michelle. I really appreciate you doing this. And also just, while you are thinking about the holidays, maybe write down some memories that you have and start thinking about a plan to get those memories documented on video with some storytelling or an interview that we can help out with. And just don't let 2020 end up just being a year that we don't want to talk about, but let it maybe be a year that, because you're stuck at home, you're a little bit more introspective and looking at how special family really can be and how important memories are, and thinking about the future generations. I wish someone had done something like this, and I would know a little bit more about my own grandparents. I don't really have many memories, so.
I think that's wonderful. Think about gifting this to your young children or your children you don't have yet, but kind of creating a gift for the future. I think that's a great idea. Alexis, any final words for our audience?
Just thanks so much for having me. I would love to record some not so secret recipes. Families have those recipes, and Grandma just has a way about her to cook it, and she's adding something that she's not writing down. So that's kind of one of my secret fantasies, to be able to do the not so secret family recipe and just to share it, because everybody loves it, and it's just never the same unless this person's cooking it. But I think it's important to capture these, and I just hope everybody's, if they're not doing it themselves, that they look into doing this. And I just I have a passion of being out there in a bigger way to help more people be able to memorialize or just have this, and maybe they're not going to watch it right away, but they know they have it, and it's kind of that security blanket of knowing I've captured this person's essence of life and their journey.
Yeah, and as we were talking before, with the growing number of people getting dementia in later years, and capturing it sooner than later when they still have those memories, it's a really great idea. And I love your thought about capturing the recipe, because my grandmother had her favorite banana bread, and you're like, how come mine never quite tastes the same as hers? And I think her secret was her bananas were like black. I mean, she would let them sit, and I never wanted to know, I guess, that how old those bananas were before they went into the bread, but it was delicious. It was delicious. So thank you, ladies, for joining me tonight. I think this has been really fun, very educational for our audience. Give them something to think about. If anybody has any comments or questions, I'm sure Ladan and Alexis will follow up and answer those on in the comment section, and we'll post their websites and their contact information in there as well. Awesome. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Please tune in again next Sunday for Let's Get Distracted at 7:30. We'll bring you another health and wellness topic. But for now, Ladan, thank you so much for joining me. Alexis, thank you for joining me as well. And have a good night.
Awesome.
Thank you. Bye.